Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Cannabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danan city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town, the way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Yes!
Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people, yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis's transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Harrows changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you, because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Renwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Xion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust, as a fellow human being above all else.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfricht Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfricht whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait, don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still... Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnigan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, in a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, It was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
guys checked your equipment lately?
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Hold! I am Lord Dohalim of Elda Menencia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Not in your dreams!
Colonel Steven! It's almost too strong.
Split it open!
Be my guest. Burn it! Double Demon Fang!
Now! Kikara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Lightning!
Hold that! Now you see what I can do!
My shield?
Reload! Tempest Swell!
Take this!
Lunar Corrosion! This one's mine! Frozen!
Hammer!
Double Demon Fang!
By the power!
Double Demon Fang! No good!
Rapid care!
Pain between heaven and earth!
Mow him down!
Double this one's all mine!
Fire support!
Double Demon! You picked the wrong fight!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zoogles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Further!
Double Demon Fang!
These ones can run rings around us!
Double Demon Fang!
Winds
No
of heaven!
further!
First force! Do it!
Double Demon Fang!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
Burn! I'm on it! Double Demon Fang!
Dream!
Go away!
Piston!
Gemini Aqua!
Burn!
Mega! Illuminate the
Demon
zone!
Fang!
If you help, let me help.
Holy Glimmer!
In a bind?
First aid! Holy Land!
Let's do it!
Dohalim!
Hey!
Blow them away!
Hammer! Flavor!
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
There's always room for improvement.
Thanks for waiting. Eat as much as you like. Well, how's it taste?
The meat is just the right texture and firmness. You can easily taste all of the ingredients that went into it.
I'm impressed you can cut up such a huge fish.
The basic procedure doesn't really change whether a fish is big or small. All it takes is practice.
Still, I feel a little bad eating this fish. It's supposed to be a pretty rare species, isn't it?
I'm the type who fishes for food first and foremost. Once I catch something, I cook it up with care so it doesn't go to waste. Don't worry, I took an imprint of it for posterity before I turned it into steak.
The meat is so thick. It almost reminds me a little of beef.
What's the difference? Isn't it all meat at the end of the day, regardless of where it comes from?
Says the guy who always complains about it not being red meat whenever we have fish.
Look, as long as it tastes good, I don't care what it is.
Even vegetables?
I'm talking about meat!
It looks thick because that's how big the fish was. There's still plenty to go around, so feel free to have more if you want it.
Sure, I'll take another slice.
Better grab it while you can, everyone.
I never miss!
Double Demon Fang!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah!
Double Demon Fang! You picked the wrong button!
Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang!
Double Demon Fang!
Now or never. Can't get out of this!
I can do the spray! Burn! Mega Ray!
Swallow Blade! Try this! Infernal Torrent! You're mine! It's over! I'm not done! Double Demon Fang! First strike! Double Demon Fang! Do it! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Double Demon Fang!
Now or never.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! It's on!
I'm ready for the next battle. Little help!
To me!
Double Demon Fang! Ignite!
Freaking does it!
Shattering
Shattering
Double Demon Fang!
Attack time! Far enough!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
I'm ready! Dance to the wind!
Now you see what I can do!
That'll bring you down.
Double Demon Fang!
Sword!
Here's a healing art.
Double Demon Fang! Burn! This one's all
You see
mine!
what happened there as you crossed? Shouldn't have done that.
Double Demon Fang!
Talon Hurricane!
Glacial Spear.
Eagle Gun!
Shining Overdose. Free
I'll crush you! Lightning Reflexes! Tenebrous Claw!
First strike! Double Demon Fang!
Here goes!
I really owe you
Not on
one.
my watch.
It's time!
No further!
Light Astro.
Go time!
Double Demon Fang!
Armor won't save you!
Raging Storm.
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Not today!
Here's a healing art.
Nothing gets by me.
Double Demon Fang!
I'll be saving this one. All disasters made one. Reload! Healing Security. Let me help.
Double Demon Fang!
Take this! Storm! In a bind? You should have messed with me!
Don't count!
In here. I'll be saving this
Double
one.
Demon Fang!
Demon Force. Here's a healing art.
Double Demon Fang! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
I won't forgive you!
Demon Fang! Oh my lord! I'll smash you!
This one's mine!
I'm going in! Fire! I see what it is!
Demon's Descent!
Flashing Fang!
I'll heal you all!
Just the way!
Water
Will this
astral
help?
energy!
All finished
No.
here and now! Can't get here!
Don't leave me!
I really owe you one.
Here!
Follow dance!
Your dreams!
Ready to go! Now in the groove!
You require
Too fast for
stand back. I'll trip it up. Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Stardust!
Celestial Fire!
You're on! Double Demon Fang! I can carve through armor!
Floating!
Deep dirt!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
Double Demon Fang!
Astral Energy! Full throttle!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Hi, Hoodle!
Double Demon Fang!
You got spirit!
Healing Circle!
Double Demon Fang!
That's power! A whirling without a trace!
I won't show you any mercy!
Now you'll learn!
Further! Double Demon Fang! Follow dance! Nothing
Demon's Descent!
Flashing Fang!
Here I go!
I'm just getting started!
Damn it, Bennett!
That'll bring you down!
Hurricane!
Prepare to
Raging Cascade Neon! Astral Energy! Full throttle! Steering
Double Demon Fang! Deep dirt!
Wolverine!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! I need to be stronger. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Gotta break through! Double Demon Fang!
Now you see what I can do!
Failure is not an option!
I'll tear you
Take
apart!
this! Time to cross blade! Double Demon Fang!
Dreams!
Will this help?
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Double Demon Fang!
I'm on a roll now!
Try harder! Double Demon Fang!
I'll tear you apart!
Winds of heaven! First force!
Double Demon Fang! Winter Dragon! This one's all mine! Burn! Double
Handle it!
Eat this! Talon Storm! No further!
A whirling circle! Ready and ready!
Here's a healing arc! First force!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me
Double Demon Fang!
First aid!
I'm on!
Armor won't save you!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy
Double
glitter!
Demon!
If it's in the sky, it's mine! Stand between heaven and earth! And wait, lightning!
Double Demon Fang! You picked the wrong fight!
Eat this!
Double Demon Fang! I owe you one! Double Demon!
Take this! I'm on a roll now! Eagle Assault! All good things
Here's
come
a
to
healing
an
arc!
end!
Here goes!
Double Demon Fang!
Challenge escape!
Light your spear!
Here's the eagle!
Rolling snap!
Freeze laser!
Flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Here's a healing arc!
Nothing gets my hand! I'm just getting started!
Into the shadows!
Anything in armor! These fists have got your name on them! Now you see what I can do!
Double Leap! In an instant! Impact Drop! We won. be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Now we're not.
Go.
Double demon. Take this.
It's like trying to go back to the wall.
This one's all mine. Ignite.
A chain between heaven and earth. A wailing lightning. Astral energy.
Say no more. Double demon fang. Severing wind.
I'll do you all. Lightning orb.
Stardust.
A whirling storm.
No further.
Winds of heaven. First strike. Go. Where are you going? Do it.
Look sharp. Lightning tiger blade.
Lightning kinetic.
Double demon fang.
Thunder blade. You illuminate the sky. Come forth, holy glimmer.
Seems about right to me.
It's on.
Double demon fang.
Raging Thunder.
Double demon fang. Burn it hell. Damn it. Double demon fang.
I'll smash you.
Release.
I'm the true gunslinger around here.
Engaging.
Here's a ray.
Hey. Blow them away.
I'll heal you all.
Eat this. Double demon fang.
I'll tear you apart. Arcane waterfall.
Break of fear.
Take
Here's
this.
Evo. Sleep now with Dohalim.
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis. By the power of flame.
This one's all mine. Down. Ignite.
Now I'm in the groove.
Double demon
Now.
fang.
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished. Demon fang. Double demon fang.
Light Astral Rage now. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished. Onward and upward. No choice.
Whirling struggle. Here's
Double demon fang.
Winds of heaven. First force.
Double demon fang.
How long are we gonna keep this up for, exactly?
Eat this. Damn it. Double demon fang.
Where are you going?
Double demon fang.
In a bind?
I owe you one.
I'll finish you here again!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Radiant Pierce Sword!
Report. Mission.
Do it!
Look sharp. Lightning tiger blade.
Nicely done.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can, which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.